Hello, love. Welcome back, soul family. This is going to be part of a new focus on the channel moving forward. I have yet to post an update, so if you're finding this reading, please understand I'm just going to do a little bit for the first time and finding this channel for the first time. I am going to be just doing a very brief update here before we get into the channeled galactic messages and codes activations that want to come through on behalf of the Lyrans. This particular reading is for those of you who resonate with being Lyran starseeds of Lyran soul family origin is what they're saying with me. Those of you who have also worked, OGs of the channel who have worked in the past with the energies of Lazar, the alchemical golden pyramid, the violet Merkaba, and also if you as a starseed lightworker specifically are working with the Lyrans. So maybe you don't necessarily resonate with being Lyran in terms of your soul blueprint, but you are working with the Lyrans. So stick around just for a few more seconds here while I give a very quick update to the channel moving forward. We're going to be doing, for the next little while, Spirit, my guides have been directing me to focus on doing a minimum of one channeled galactic message, especially pertaining to the shifts currently taking place on Momma Gaia, where we are going with all of this, what we need to pay attention to, what we need to be discerning about, and also what we need to lighten up about, focusing on the transmutation of different energies at work here, especially as empath starseeds. There's just been a big focus on the channel moving forward. This is the first of that next series of sort of collective energy updates that want to come through, primarily galactic and angelic in nature. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is the series of pick a card readings that I have started doing coming in on behalf of the Venusians. That's going to continue moving forward, and I'm going to link right now the last video that I did. Just make another time. The last pick a card reading on the channel that has to do with the next divine union you're aligning to. Okay. Part of what this collective message that's going to come through now has a lot to do with this, because they keep on saying to me, uniting. Specifically, when I opened up the energies for them to come through, the energy, the conduit, put it however you want. I'm getting a little woozy, okay? This is what happens when channeling starts. I specifically heard this is for Starseeds and Lightworkers, and I heard unite, unite, unite. I heard it 3 times. And that was pretty much it. And what they want to really focus on here is that we are moving, and this has been ongoing for the last few months, and this is why the Venusians as a collective have been coming in so strongly. Energetically, we are moving into right relationship. If you've been around for a hot minute on the channel here, you know that that's been the main focus. The pick a card readings allow these energies to get distilled down even further and provide you with the soul support that you need moving forward. It's all about connecting with soul family, okay? It's all about connecting as well with the authentic aspect of you. So that's why this series has been coming through, and it will continue as far as I'm concerned. And no, although they're showing me that this is going to change at some point in terms of what the focus will be, because the last few pick a card readings have been around relationships. This may shift moving forward, but it's a way for us to distill down these general collective readings, okay? If you're feeling called to go deeper, that's when we do the one-on-one readings. That's when we actually dive into your specific soul blueprint, what you're here specifically to do. I'm currently offering 2 different types of readings / sessions. All that information is in the description box below, but one of them specifically is what I refer to as your soul vision session. And so this gets you very clear on what I'm hearing. It's so interesting. I'm hearing what you're blueprinted or in a way patented to do as a soul here in this particular incarnation, with a specific focus on a lot of galactic energies and new paradigm consciousness that wants to come in. That is one of the main focuses of, in a way, what I do here on the channel, okay? Every reading is oriented, whether it is a life path number reading, whether it is a collective update, or some kind of galactic coding that wants to come through, whether it is soul support messages, whether it is pick a card readings, the focus is always about this new paradigm consciousness that we as the ELSH Collective are here for, especially as empath starseeds and starseed lightworkers, okay? And on that note, we're going to get into the reading. It's going to be a short and sweet one. Lazar is here on behalf of the Lyran Collective, the Lyran Emissaries of Light. I'm working with this gorgeous piece of Amethyst and Barite. This is from Thunder Bay, Ontario. Are there any Canadians here? Are there any Thunder Bayans here? This is a honeycomb amethyst. And you know what's funny? It looks like my eyes right there. They're asking me to hold it up like this. This is about seeing with clarity and through the eyes of the divine. All right. So they're wanting me to speak about the Hanged Man, and specifically I'm going to be asking through one thing they want me to show through this White Witch Tarot is essentially what's at the bottom of the deck here, the Hanged Man. Now, there is something in the imagery here that can be very activating for some of you, is what they're saying to me. The Lyran Emissaries of Light want us to understand that part of the experience that we're here to, and I'm hearing the word incorporate, but also incorporeal in our bodies. In this incarnation is understanding both shadow and light and alchemizing those shadow energies that can be dysfunctional and a detriment to health into more consciousness, more understanding, in essence, more light. Enlightenment, essentially, is what they're saying here. Okay? Now, they're showing me very specifically this hand and how it almost looks like an eclipse. The timely aspect of this message is that we have a full moon lunar eclipse March 3rd. I am currently, tomorrow essentially, I am currently recording this message on March the 2nd. Eastern European time is what they want me to say here. And they want me to also talk a little bit about time here, because this is another thing that's been coming up for me, but also for the collective. I keep on hearing it's never too late. And in the last couple of readings that I've been doing, the life path number readings that I did, there were a couple where, again, this came through. Because I started doing these life path number readings very quickly, I was guided by Spirit to do it for the month of March 2026, the timely aspect of those readings. And even though I was like, basically I was guided to do this like the end of February, like literally, I think it was the 28th. It was the last day of February, or the 27th. It could have been one of those days. It was the weekend anyway. And I was like, okay, it's possible to get all of this done within that first week of March. And what Spirit and my guides were showing me is that it's never too late. The point is to get these messages out and to begin some kind of course of momentum is what they're showing me. I am sharing that with you because it also applies to the collective with whatever you might be thinking, you know what, it's too late. Maybe I should just wait for another month to pass or another cycle to pass. They're like, no, do it now. Energy, frequency, vibration is what I'm hearing. I'm getting 369 and I'm seeing a triangle. I'm seeing the mysteries of 369. Energy, frequency, and vibration can trump time. Interesting that they're using those words. All right. So going back to this hanged man imagery, what's really interesting here is they're asking me to ask you, how is this speaking to you in one word, in a sentence, in a statement? Whatever is coming to you first, take that right now. It's about breaking, and collectively, this is about breaking out of some kind of shell in terms of a perspective or a way of thinking. Just like it's too late, we need to bust out of this. And collectively, this is also what is happening with the timelier aspects of this particular reading, in the sense of we have a full moon lunar eclipse happening tomorrow in Virgo, which is a very alchemical sign. And I am getting temperance energy wanting to come through here. I had a little bit of a number thing happen earlier that was indicating temperance, the energy of temperance, the energy of alchemy. And it's funny because this hourglass shape is like the two cups in the alchemy card feeding into one another. For some of you, there's also a very specific message here about facing the shadow, facing the ego in the dysfunctional sense, and death of the ego, facing death, period. Near-death experience, seeing things from a much more enlightened perspective. I'm also hearing with that, seek and ye shall find. Make the intention to see things from a more enlightened perspective as you move forward. That's the timely aspect of this message, specifically with this eclipse portal that we're moving through, and also the fact that we are currently in Mercury retrograde. The Empress, as I cut the deck, Momma Gaia, her cycle. So this is a nod now, very specifically. I'm hearing many things here. First thing is the spring equinox, something equalizing at the spring equinox. Okay, pay attention to that. I'm also hearing the return of the light in the spring equinox for the Northern Hemisphere. We've got the Tower card coming out now as I cut the deck again, number 16. Some kind of revelatory is what I'm hearing specifically with that, and the cards just wanted to go everywhere. Shifts. We've been hearing a lot about disclosure that is happening, and they're bringing me back now to something they mentioned earlier about AI and needing to be discerning with AI and who is supporting AI in what respect, and a whole wad of cards just came out. Now, this is going to be a topic for further discussion moving forward. They're showing me the energies of Lemuria. They're showing me the energies of Atlantis. They're showing me the energies of the importance of being connected to our heart, to our own divine free will, and understanding that artificial means exactly that. It's artificial. If you're hearing, be wary and be discerning around those who are saying that humanity and I'm hearing the consequences here of saying that consciousness is essentially artificial, and that somehow human consciousness is trying to be posited under that umbrella. Be very wary of that. And they're reminding me, oh wow, look at what's at the bottom of the deck, Temperance in reverse. This is really interesting. They're reminding me, before I get into that, they're reminding me of something Gregg Braden said. And as I turned over the cards, the devil's coming out. They're reminding me of something that I had heard Gregg Braden once say about the definition of evil. And I'm paraphrasing here. But it was something along the lines of, very clearly, and I'm pretty sure this is word for word. Yeah, and look, we've got the Hanged Men coming out again. The Hanged Men coming out again with the devil. Okay. Be wary of someone or something that is trying to show you that a shift in consciousness is actually you being open-minded, being progressive, being innovative, when in fact it's an inverted sense of what a shift in consciousness and expansion in consciousness is, because it is disconnected from the heart. It is disconnected from animus mundi. It is disconnected from the soul of Gaia and her divine matrix. And I'm getting massive chills with that. Okay, going back to Gregg Braden and something that Gregg Braden said. The definition of evil is anything that tries to disconnect us from our divinity. Spiritual teachers and those of us who are on a spiritual journey, and I use that word specifically in terms of a broad umbrella, anyone who is on a journey of what I'm hearing of gnothisafton, of knowing thyself. Okay? And it's funny, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, so what they're showing me with that is that there are deliberate interferences that are targeting those of us who are very open-hearted, open-minded when it comes to our spiritual journeys, that are deliberately trying to derail us from the truth of our own hearts when it comes to really understanding truly what open-mindedness and open-heartedness actually is. Okay. And this is a much bigger message moving forward that we are going to be exploring and focusing on, because it's really important. Thank you, Spirit. They're bringing me back to what they wanted to guide me on moving forward. So being on a spiritual journey often means that we are very open to growth and expansion of consciousness. Some people are positing New Earth paradigm as the acceptance of AI somehow replacing divinity or consciousness, or a connection to our higher consciousness or oversouls or higher self. That is an inversion. And when I say that is an inversion, that is a twisted, illusory way of understanding truly how this works, or understanding divinity, or understanding consciousness. It is not innovation. It is not open-mindedness. There are some people out there who are positing themselves as gurus talking about this, talking about AI. And here's the thing. I want to make it absolutely clear that if you're using AI to like run your computer in a very technical sense, like they're saying to me, if you're trying to troubleshoot something, and you're using some kind of AI platform to help you troubleshoot something, do something very practical in your day-to-day. Mechanical is what they're saying to me. Like it's something to do with some software and you're trying to troubleshoot some problem. It can actually be very supportive. In certain ways, what it's doing is it's allowing us to free up more time to be able to actually do the things that are of value to us. And in that way, it can be a positive thing. But when you are using AI, I'm hearing them say as a medium or as a replacement for essentially spirit, for God, for the divine, this is an illusion. Can you feel into the frequency of that? They're showing me that film. Is it called iRobot? And I'm getting like a feeling of, I'm getting an artificial, what I can only translate as through my body, what it means to feel the frequency of something artificial, and how it does not allow for growth and expansion. If anything, it becomes a crutch. We must be very weary of this, is what they're saying to me. And I mean, need I say more? Like, do I need to say anything more? And I'm also being shown how, with this Temperance card in reverse, okay? And I'm going to end the reading on this note. With that Temperance card in reverse, what I'm getting with this is that there are some beautiful, beautiful souls who are really grappling with this because they're trying to be open-minded. They are trying to be all-accepting under the guise of false light programming. So this idea of being accepting and open and neutral, okay, and non-attached to a side in a way. It's not about taking sides necessarily, especially for those of you that really resonate with unity consciousness, with this idea of, you know, extending love and compassion to all energy, all beings. There have to be certain lines in the sand drawn when it comes to malevolent forces or forces that are ill manipulating and literally attacking directly our own divinity, our own connection to God and God's source. There is only so much understanding and appreciation that you can exercise when it comes to these kind of energies. And understand that at some point you need to also stand your ground and protect what is holy in essence, what is in alignment with love and truth. They're giving me, really interestingly enough, take whatever resonates from here, a very interesting message from the recent Avatar movie, where you see some very interesting multi-dimensional kind of things going on in terms of understanding what faith is, in terms of understanding what truth is, in terms of understanding our connection, our divine connection to source as souls in a human body. Okay? Now, one thing that is very important to remember is that as peaceful and as compassionate and as loving as we want to be to the other, we also need to understand the importance of honoring and protecting and having reverence for the sacredness of our home, of our souls, of our connection to spirit and the divine. That in this 3D realm, okay, with its various frequency shifts that are going on right now is what they're showing to me. I'm hearing it's now or never. I'm hearing it as an Elvis song, which is crazy. It's now or never. Come hold me tight. So the deeper understanding here of love and loving is this fierce energy of love in standing your ground. It's not about being a doormat. They're giving me the example of Jesus in the temple overturning tables. I'm getting the example of a warrior energy. I'm seeing the energy of what's called the peaceful warrior in the sense of, I do no harm to you in any way, shape, or form, but when you come at me, don't expect me to just sit there and take a sword to the gut. This is a huge experience. What they really want us to understand here is that this is spiritual, because there's been some weird programming around this, spiritually speaking, in various philosophies and even in a lot of these new age movements, where being spiritual means spiritual bypassing, not being angry, just embodying these quote unquote higher frequency, higher energy feelings. Okay? What that does though is that it incapacitates you. That's what it does. A lot of this is, it's spiritual bypassing, and it is being deliberately done to get people not to speak up, to not stand their ground for the sake of not being called spiritual or whatever. There is a massive awakening going on with this right now, and I'm really happy about that. I certainly am. And I see that the camera has gone out. So what I'm going to do is just flip the switch here. Give me 2 seconds because it's still recording, which is good. And I'm back, and I'm using the camera on my laptop now because the other camera that I had connected here on my phone went completely dead because I have been doing a lot of readings today. And the crazy thing is that I ended it by saying that there are a lot of awakenings happening around this right now, just as the camera decides to go. But I've got a backup, so I'm able to continue this message. And that's what they want us to focus on. It's not so much about the energies that may be getting in the way. Remember, I did speak about interference earlier. We're at a point now, though, where this interference is, we got to roll with it. We got to roll with the punches in a way. And they're using that phrase very specifically as well. There's always a backup plan. And in that sense, there's always a way that the message will get out. Okay? That is what we need to be focusing on, and that is what we need to be orienting ourselves to. There's going to be a lot more coming through on this. I think that's pretty much it. That's all they want me to say here. I'm getting a lot of energy of being very vigilant. Be aware of who you're listening to, okay? And also be discerning in what you're listening to. Question what you're listening to, coming from a space of being very centered and grounded in what you believe. Feel into the frequency, because energy is the currency. It's not just the new currency, it is the currency. Energy, frequency, vibration, 369. Good old Nikola Tesla, who I think would have a lot to say about some of the shit that's gone down here on Momma Gaia. So would Momma Gaia. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you to the Lyran emissaries of light for being here. Thank you, Lazar. I thank you for sharing your time and your energy with us in this space. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are here on beautiful Momma Gaia. Like I said, I'm going to link the playlist for that pick a card reading right here, right now, somewhere. Go ahead and take a look at that and see if there's something pinging for you, because they've been guiding me to share that with you for this message. Sending you so much love wherever you are, in love and liberation, always.